Thank you to EA Game Changers for flying me out to try the new Season 3 Apex Legends content. In this video, I want to show you the new Hopups and the Charge Rifle. These items are absolutely going to shake up the meta in Apex Legends. Firstly, yes, the Charge Rifle is a floor item and it's better than you can imagine. More on that later. So first, here's the new Hopup for the Flatline and R301. With this, you can do more damage per shot, but only when in semi-fire mode. For balancing, it takes 2 ammo per shot during the semi-fire mode. What this does is give more power to the assault rifles at longer distances. This is important because Respawn made it clear to us at the event that they want to push for a stronger long-ranged meta. As you can see in this footage, the Flatline does 43 damage and the R301 does 35 damage. They both fire slowly, slower than the Wingman, but still faster than the Longbow. By the way, the Longbow got a rate of fire nerf in Season 3, so why would we want to take the new R301 and Flatline Hopups? Well, now we finally have a weapon that's great at all ranges, especially in the Flatline's case. We can switch to it full auto to deal with enemies up close and switch to semi to do more damage at longer ranges. That frees up our other slot for more situational weapons. For example, one player could have a charge rifle for longer range damage, the others could take peacekeepers for quick damage up close. But what about the alternators? Well, they're gone. The alternator isn't, but the disruptor rounds have been removed, as have the skull piercers. The reason for this is simple really, the disruptor was way too strong, so it got dropped. We needed better weapons to complement the larger sightlines and open area on the new map though, so for the Flatline and R301, that's where the new Anvil Hopup was born. I honestly think this is going to be one of the most used Hopups in the new season, and now that the alternator gone, this is going to be kind of your main weapon, your go-to, and then the charge rifle will replace the longbow. So the new meta will be Flatline / R301 alongside the charge rifle. Of course, the main players, the Peacekeeper, the Wingman and the R99 are still going to be very strong as usual. The R99 did get a slight nerf, it now has more recoil and the magazine sizes has been reduced, but overall it's still an absolute shredder. For those curious, the R301 with the Anvil fires slightly faster than the Flatline, so I feel like DPS wise they will be very similar. This would kind of mean the R301 is a bit more useful closer range with this, and then the Flatline is more valuable when you want to hit those high damage shots at longer distances. Next we have the charge rifle. Let me explain the Titanfall charge rifle to those that don't know already first. It works similarly to the select fire on the Havoc. You charge it up and it does massive damage with a hit scan bullet. However, the Apex charge rifle has undergone some improvements. To me, I think the charge rifle will be the new face of Season 3. It works differently to how it does in Titanfall, so it's a floor drop weapon and it can take attachments. It can't take a turbocharger, but it already fires much faster than the Titanfall version and much faster than the Havoc select fire. To top it off, when the laser is aimed at somebody, it does damage as it's charging up. It's 3 damage per tick. Then once it fully fires up, it does 45 damage. If you press the fire button, you cannot cancel it though, so you need to get good at aiming well. You can do disgusting amounts of damage with this thing when you do get those shots. You do all of the 3 damage per tick and then the 45 damage with a body shot. It really adds up. To me, there are 4 main reasons that stand out why the charge rifle is going to be one of the best weapons in Season 3. Firstly, it's hit scan, so it's easier to hit long range shots. Second, when you charge it up, that initial damage you do will slow your targets, making it easier to hit that big charged shot. Thirdly, it's deadly accurate in hip fire, so you can still use it up close very effectively. And finally, you can put long range scopes on this thing to give it a lot of long range power too. Note that it won't slow Caustic or Gibraltar. I was constantly impressed by the amount of damage I was doing with this charge rifle and also how much I slowed enemies when I was shooting them. I don't know if that's some kind of bug, but it really feels like players get glued to the wall. It's really strange. And I also got the most frustrated when I was being attacked by it. So we'll see how it is in the live game on October 1st, but this is going to be a very strong weapon and you're going to see it everywhere. It's not that rare, remember it's a floor drop weapon. You can put an extended mag on it, but by default it has 4 shots per magazine, and that means each shot includes a full charge up, so you can do all of the charge up damage and the full charge damage with each bullet. I want to kind of touch on the rest of the meta whilst we put the charge rifle gameplay in the background. You'll see it come in handy in a lot of situations and you'll see the value of it for sure. So let's talk meta. What has changed in the latest season? Well, firstly, this new map has some really large open sightlines. I talked about this earlier, but essentially Respawn told us when we took part in this event that they want to make long range more important in Apex Legends Season 3. If you haven't watched it yet already, make sure to check my map video where I showcase all of the new areas on the map. In that video you can see how clear it is that there are so many larger open areas. So that doesn't mean we won't have short range fights, we still will, and I still did in my fights too, but there is a lot more room for strategic maneuvering and playing around cover and dipping out of situations and coming back to fight like on the other side of the map. I really cannot wait to see how the meta evolves once all of these changes get into the hands of the players. So I cannot remember exactly, but I want to talk about the other buffs and nerfs to the weapons. So firstly, the Hemlock got kind of a bit of a buff. It now does more damage, but it has an increased recoil, I believe. I cannot be sure. I think it's something like that. I think the Scout got increased base damage too, and of course it has the new Hopup, which I'll show in a minute. The EVA 8 also got the new Hopup as well. Wraith got a nerf. Her portal now will not be finished if she dies before she places her portal. Pathfinder got a nerf too. His zipline cooldown has been increased, and his grapple timer has been increased. So the time it takes for your grapple to hit a target is now longer, so you won't be able to grapple away as quickly. It takes a little bit getting used to, but honestly you'll get used to it in probably a couple of hours of gameplay. This does mean you're not as zippy though. The grapple speed whilst you're in the air is the same, but the time it takes for you to be able to leave the ground has now increased essentially. Disruptor got a really interesting buff. I'll talk more about that in another video because it's really worthy of another video. You're really going to like it. And Bangalore also got a buff too. Her ultimate missiles now do more damage. Finally, Bloodhound got a buff as well. Their ultimate now goes 5% faster. You have a 5% faster movement speed, and I believe the cooldown has been reduced on that as well. I think they buffed the tactical as well, but I can't remember how. The ultimate also has a faster draw time. You may notice when you use Bloodhound you pull out your hands and do this long animation. That's been reduced now, so the ultimate will start sooner. Whilst we're here, we may as well talk about how Crypto is going to fall in the meta too. I've already released a video which showcases all of his abilities and his skins, so make sure to check my channel for that video if you haven't seen it already. Basically, Crypto is going to be the ultimate legend in this map because it's a lot larger. What that means is his drone is going to be able to tell you the location of enemies nearby. It also has a lot of value in the late game. Firstly, this is because the late game ranked situation in Season 2 involved a lot of camping Watsons, and Crypto's drone's ultimate ability will be able to completely destroy all traps, or at least disable them. I'm not quite sure, I need to try it out myself. And then on top of that, Crypto can spot passively all legends as long as they are in the line of sight and within 30 meters. What this means is if you manage to hide your drone in the late game rings, you will be able to spot all of the enemies. They'll be targeted on your map. It's basically like a free wall hack. It's literally that powerful. It's really insane. I'm quite shocked that they've added that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's nerfed in the future. It's going to have a lot of power in ranked and competitive. Now, are you going to enjoy Crypto if you're the kind of W key player who just wants to push fights? Maybe not, actually. I feel like you'll find him quite boring, just like many players found Watson boring. But to me, I'm very interested to learn him. But I am worried that Bloodhound will lose value and be pushed down even further. Bloodhound completely needs a rework now, and I am worried for you Bloodhound mains. Honestly, I feel sorry for you. And finally, we have the new twin shot Hopup. This is for the EVA 8 and the Scout. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to test it much on either of these weapons, but from what I can tell from what other people have said, the EVA 8 does enough power now to really kind of compete with the Peacekeeper. However, if you miss your shots, then it's still as unforgiving as the Peacekeeper as well. So you have two options: either go for the purple barrel EVA, be more forgiving, do less damage all at once, or go for the twin shot and you'll do more damage at once, compete with the Peacekeeper, but you'll need to hit those shots really. And then the Scout is really powerful. I feel like if you have a good barrel on this and can control the recoil, it's surprisingly good. and you can hip fire it up close and use the hip fire method I talked about in my previous weapons guide, and you will do a ton of damage with this thing. I'm really excited to give that more of a try. So that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you are as excited for the launch of Season 3 as I am. I really cannot wait. I'm so hyped. Tell me what you think about all of this new content in the comments. I'll see you there. Cheerio.